I'm David Goforth with the Cooperative Extension Service, and we're here with Simply Local.
And hi, I'm Pam Uten, Family and Consumer Science Agent with Cooperative Extension. And David, let's be a little bit more specific. We're in the teaching kitchen. Have you heard it called that before?
Oh yeah.
The teaching kitchen at Cooperative Extension.
Good deal. What are we going to learn?
Well, David, we're going to kind of have a lot of fun today, I hope. You know, I'm all about quick and easy. Quick, easy, simple.
Just rushing your life away, Pam.
No, I'm not, David. But I feel like we're doing good to get families or individuals around the table today to eat. I hear too many people say how they're not eating at home. So I've got two quick and easy ideas using an old technique to get families back to the table. David, today we're going to use this trusty sheet pan. In fact, this is what we call half of a sheet pan. And we're going to be making something called sheet pan suppers. We're going to do everything in this one sheet pan. In fact, we could, if you really wanted to, take this one sheet pan to your kitchen table and have that at the center of your table. That's right, quick and easy, quick and easy. You'll notice that the sheet pan, though, is a little bit different than a cooking sheet because it does have some sides on it. And that's pretty important when we're doing roasting, as you'll see, because we don't want the vegetables to fall off into the oven or the range. That could get kind of messy. And your mother probably used a roasting pan that had higher sides. And she roasted beef and potatoes and carrots. And it was more of an all-day process, or a little bit longer than what we're going to do today. David, this meal can be ready in 15 minutes from the time you put it in the oven. Now that's quick and easy, isn't it?
Sounds good.
Okay, now for our sheet pan supper, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our oven on for this recipe to 425 degrees. We are roasting today. And we've roasted vegetables before. We've roasted sweet potatoes, which was a favorite. What else have we roasted?
I think you roast butternut squash, potatoes, carrots,
roasted,
beets.
I mean, we've roasted in the past butternut squash, acorn squash, I think, and it's cooking with a dry heat. Cooking with a dry heat and not covered. So the first thing we're going to do, just to kind of get ready, is that we're going to lightly, keyword lightly, spray the sheet pan we're going to be using. That's going to help with our cleanup. Now, we could put down aluminum foil, or we could put down parchment paper. This will make cleanup easier, and that's a big, important part in my life, cleanup. Now, the ingredients we're going to use today for the sheet pan suppers are really, really simple. This is going to be a healthy meal. We're going to use salmon fillets, and I'll go ahead and put the salmon fillets on the sheet pan. And they're nice, healthy salmon. This is going to be a meal that families, I think, are going to really enjoy. And get the last of the salmon on our greased baking sheet. Oh, I can hand you that, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, David. Now, we get into just a little bit of cooking. I've already got the 1 tablespoon of butter that has melted in my small pan. The 1 tablespoon of butter. So now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And to that we will add 2 tablespoons of reduced sodium soy sauce. Going to kind of give it a little bit of an oriental flavor. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. We're going to make this little light sauce, which I think you're going to enjoy. Do you like salmon, David?
I do, but I was thinking you could do this with any fish we have local too, the bass, the brim. There's some people that live their whole life and never realize you can do anything other than fry a fish. And baking or roasting is a very good option for any of the local fish.
David, I'm so glad you mentioned that. You know, we're all about healthy. We're about eating simply and eating locally, but we should be about eating healthy too. And I can guarantee you're never going to see us frying fish on this show, are we? Now we're all going to add the 1 tablespoon of olive oil And to that, we will add the 1/8 teaspoon salt, just an 1/8 teaspoon salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon pepper. Let's kind of just mix this up a little bit now. Mix this up. And I think my heat is still on low.
I'm gonna give you a little more heat.
Okay, that's great. It takes just a second to mix this up. This is all the cooking we're doing to this sheet pan supper. This is really all that we have to do as far as preparation. All right, now I like to go ahead and save about half of the sauce in a measuring cup, and I'm doing that for a reason. The next thing we're going to do is take the remaining sauce that we've just done and brush it on our salmon fillets. This is what kind of gives it a glaze and a little bit of a tangy and sweet flavor. And you're right, you could use other fish. I just happen to love salmon, and I think it's a healthy option.
Right,
and
the local fish don't have the omega-3s that salmon would have, being it's a colder water fish.
Is this not easy, David? Have you seen, I think this is going to take the cake.
So far I can do it.
Well, I think this is going to take the cake for the easiest thing I've ever prepared on Simply Local. And we've got a little bit more sauce, so we'll just kind of pour it on now. We want to get it good and covered. The next thing we're going to do is, we've got that on there now, and then, oh, thank you. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to take about a pound of green beans, and these are delicious fresh green beans that I've washed and of course just snipped the edge off. And they are so nice and crisp and colorful and fresh. And David, we get green beans in Cabarrus County. What's the season for green beans?
Starting towards the middle of May and running close to the end of the year. October, May to October is the season for fresh green beans.
So this is a little dish that we could use very easily anytime during the late spring, summer, early fall. Now remember that little bit of sauce that we saved? Well, we're just going to pour it over the green beans, and then we're going to toss the green beans with the sauce, and this is going to cause the green beans to have a nice little glow. We just simply add, you can use your hands, you can, I think most people like to cook with their hands, don't you? All right, so we're adding these nice, fresh green beans around the salmon. We're gonna bake this is real important, in a 425-degree oven for between 14 to 16 minutes, and that's real typical. In roasting, you're going to usually be cooking at a real high oven temperature, and this is what's going to allow these to be finished in about 14 to 16 minutes. Okay.
I've heard the rule of thumb is like 10 minutes per inch on fish.
Definitely.
That pretty works across all species and everything.
It does, and that's a nice thick piece of fish, so we'll put it in the range at 425. Now, let's do the second dish that I think you're really going to enjoy, David. Now, I have to admit, the first dish was the healthiest one. I shouldn't probably tell you that. Though this is going to be very, very helpful, very healthy, and we're going to be using some ingredients that I know we have at our farmer's market. Okay, first of all, I've already sprayed the half sheet pan. This is a real important step. You want to spray it, and I've already put on the sheet pan 6 chicken breasts, and they are ready to be roasted in our oven or baked. Now we're just going to make a quick little sauce to go on the chicken breast, and in that quick little sauce we have already added 1/2 cup of honey mustard salad dressing. To that 1/2 cup honey mustard salad dressing, we're going to add about a teaspoon of thyme leaves, and we're going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. You could certainly use fresh garlic and do about 4 of the little garlic cloves if you'd like to. We're going to add now a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. You see why I say it's not quite as healthy? We're adding some things that are going to make it good.
A little bit of fat.
A little bit of fat, that's right. A little bit of fat.
But I mean, it's a soybean oil fat. It's not a bad fat, you know, compared to some of the things we could be throwing in there.
Exactly right. And we're going to now add just an 1/8 teaspoon pepper and a 1/2 teaspoon salt. Quickly, we're going to whisk this together. This is the most difficult part of the recipe. just whisking this together. Kind of fun, isn't it?
It looks like you're having fun.
Well, I'm glad it looks like I'm having fun. Now, I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to just kind of pour the little glaze over the chicken breast. And this will slide off the chicken breast a little bit during the food preparation time and the baking time. We have preset our oven, David, to 350 degrees. We're going to do a slower roast on this particular chicken and veggies recipe. Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I need. Thank you. This gets all the goodness out, doesn't it? Okay, and if it runs off your chicken, don't worry. We'll just slide it back on. This is not easy. Oh my goodness.
So far?
These are the 2 easiest recipes I have ever done for Simply Local. Now, we're gonna add the good things. We're gonna add about 2 cups of baby carrots. And these baby carrots have been sliced in half so they will cook and be tender. And then we're gonna add some good red potatoes that have been cut in half and cubed. And then we'll add about a cup of onions that have been chopped. And I'm just gonna use my fingers because they're clean, and this is what we would do at home. We're just scattering those vegetables around. And it's nice if you have some room in between all the vegetables so the heat can circulate. And we're going to roast this about 55 minutes. It could go to 65 minutes. We want to get the interior of the chicken up to about 165 degrees. All right, now let's add those onions. And again, if there's something you didn't like, you could leave them out. But this is a suggestion. Use carrots, red potatoes, and onions.
Now, Pam, let me ask you a question on, are you going to put any kind of oil or anything on top of the potatoes?
No, just gonna, and then when they come out, David, it's impossible, you'll see in just a few minutes, it's impossible to take the chicken out without some of the dressing that we've put on kind of spilling onto the vegetables. So, and we are not putting anything on the vegetables, we're cooking healthy. So we're gonna roast this at the temperature of 350 degrees for about 55 to 65 minutes. And this is a more moderate roasting temperature versus the earlier one we did, which was at a 425 or 450. So David, if I can, thank you so much for putting that in the oven. Isn't he a great cook? And I said this was going to be the simplest and easiest recipe that we've ever done on Simply Local. Grab that platter and let's show what it looks like when it's finished. We won't have time, of course, to actually wait for it to be cooked. But this is the first recipe we demonstrated, which was the salmon and the fresh green beans with kind of a sweet and tangy sauce. And then this is the roasted veggies and chicken. And you see our chicken breasts have kind of got a little coating. And as we have taken the vegetables out, they've been covered some by the sauce. But was this not quick and easy? This is the technique of sheet pan suppers. And you're seeing, do you read cookbooks and cooking magazines, David?
Not really.
You don't? Okay. Well, if you did, you would be seeing that sheet pan suppers are kind of the new trend and easy meals to prepare. And if you were looking at cooking magazines, you would see lots and lots of ideas on easy things to do to get your family to the dinner table using local meats and vegetables and quick cooking. So I hope you'll enjoy.
I'm gonna try.
Okay. Isn't it fun to eat Simply Local?
Well, it's fun to eat anyway, Pam.
David, you said it.